What's that?
Snake and crane.
Really? You must be tired of living. Daughter! Daughter. My God.
Hello and welcome to Ultimate Fight Clan Snake and Crane Arts of Shaolin Fan Appreciation Podcast Chat. This time we continue with more of our favourite bits because there were so many, and they raise the extra discussion points of Jackie's clean-cut image portrayed throughout most of his career, with a few exceptions. Jackie's struggle when trying to break into the US Hollywood market. English dubbing comes up again, and G-Nix gives us a quiz to try and solve which film a certain bit of dubbing comes from, as he couldn't remember, and I couldn't figure it out either. See if you know. Thanks.
Please.
The next bit is another chat's bit. It's the bit where he goes in this house, you can see there, and he does the, money's a nuisance and women are as well, and he never bothers with either. And I like that because we have two instances of that where women try and woo him and flutter their eyelids at him, and we've just seen it with the Normau censored bit, and he's like, no deal, I don't need that, and he does the same here.
I want to have the book and the dragon spear.
You offer?
Ton of silver. All of these girls here. Also, myself.
Money's a nuisance. And women are as well. I never bother with either.
Yeah, so someone else that he's gone, you ain't getting no book. That ain't going to cut it.
No.
That ain't going to cut it.
That's almost set a precedent through his films, though, isn't it? With how he sort of bounces off the females, whether it be the female co-stars and stuff. Do you know what I mean? There's almost that initial engagement, a little bit of more flirtation coming from the lady. He into sort of, he'll take a little bit of that, and then he sort of draws a line, romance, that crossover, like
you
the
don't
sort
go
of,
there.
They're chasing the hero Jackie, but he's sort of like, no, it's not really shown in his film. And there have been romantic, interest in his films, but they don't sort of focus too heavily on it. Do you know what I mean? It's very dismissive of it.
It must be. I mean, it's obviously a marketing thing for him himself, and because he's big in so many different markets that it's so obvious, as you say, throughout the films. The no swearing, no real blood and guts, whatever. And no real relationships of any substance. There's no scenes like that.
No.
And he don't detract from it. And the only time he did with the swearing was in The Protector, which was an American film, and they told he did a bit, get me the effing keys at the beginning. Didn't work. Was very uncomfortable, a little bit awkward. But guess what? He got told at the time, you want to be big in America, then you do what we say. You're here to break into the US. So you can't do your Hong Kongy stuff here. That's for those markets. We know what's good for this market. And for this market, the tough cop swears.
We want a bit more grit,
Now, I don't know if you know this about The Protector, but at some point later, I saw a Japanese cut of it and a Hong Kong cut of it. And he was so dissatisfied with the film whilst making it. Because he's having to do what they say. That he went away in the evening, stayed after the shoots, and said, I need to shoot extra scenes for the Asian market. They ain't going to like this. So I'll do what they want, and they can release it there, and hopefully it works. It didn't. Because it had you took away, the reason you have this guy is because of what he can do, and you took it away from him. It might as well be Arnold Schwarzenegger in it. No point. So he shot extra scenes, which I saw years and years later. Massive sound effects, Hong Kong style sound effects, which you don't get in Hollywood films.
No.
And wicked fight scenes.
Different,
a lot of different fight scenes. He shot an Asian market version, which smashed the other one out of the water. So there you go.
So, I didn't know that. Well, why wouldn't it?
We talk about, well, not me and you because we don't know for sure, but the talk is that Lo Wei didn't let Chan be himself. But obviously, when he went to America to make American films, they also didn't let him be himself. It didn't work. It was only when he did Rumble in the Bronx and there was a lot of him in there, choreography, fighting, using a fridge in the fight and using all the bits and pieces. And that one did amazing. Guess why? It was good.
I've got the
right
just as well. Rumble in the Bronx.
There's a reason you want to use him. It's not you just get anyone to do it otherwise.
Yeah, exactly.
Utilizing the skill of the bloke. So next bit is chats, and I'm kind of bringing this up. No one's going to get this really, apart from probably you might, but this was more of a Pierre Ned. Do you remember that guy?
Yeah, Ned.
He used to come Grandad's on a Thursday. We grew up with him. Slim fella. He was always around. Pierre Ned. You don't remember him, no?
No, I can't say I do, and my memory's pretty good. But let me,
especially of them times. Well, he was always around, so I am surprised you don't remember because he was always around.
Yeah,
he was always at our house and everything. Now, this guy, believe it or not, I guess Snake and Crane was on so much. Even he liked it. He ain't into Kungs, but he liked Snake and Crane. And the one thing that he used to walk around saying all the time was this. The bit about the book. I am interested in the book. I won't deny that. So I'm putting this in there for him. I love it, but it's really because he loves it.
That's garbage. Huh, thought you'd help. What you're really after is the book.
Listen, I am interested in the book. I won't deny that. But I also know that I'm no match for you in fighting, so I'm not going to try and get it.
Now, for whatever reason, he loved that line. I am interested in the book. I won't deny that. It was the voice. Look, it was the voice as well, right? It's the dubbing. He loved it. Isn't it weird that people complain and dig at, oh, these films are crap because of the poor English dubbing? Like, this is part of the reason I love these films.
Yes.
This is a positive, not a negative. What are you talking about? The dubbing's amazing.
And Dad especially, like, do you know what I mean? He always like talks about all these films and stuff, and he's not talking about the action scenes. He'll just say like the dubbed version, like, do you remember this? Do you remember when he says that? Or do you remember this character in this film? And I'm like, yeah. You know, and we still do to this day repeat.
Yeah.
You know, and there's only one. Actually, I'm going to take this opportunity now because it's something I've been wanting to ask you for ages. But there's one scene, and I can't remember what film it is on the dubbed version. Now, I don't know if Jackie Chan's playing a solicitor, like a lawyer. I know he has in a couple of roles, but it's a bit where it goes, can I have my ball back, please, sir? Or something like that. I don't know, his ball bounces and he's in the car saying, Dad always goes on about, I can't remember what film it is.
Can I have my ball back,
It's some
please?
sort of like Chinese boy, like sort of, yeah. Oh no, I wouldn't park here, sir, as the cops will give you a ticket. And then, can I have my ball back, please, sir, or something? But yeah, it's like sort of Chinesey, sort of rounded, sort of quite tubby sort of kid. But I can't remember what film it's from.
Well, the kid is asking for his ball back. What has Chan got?
And he goes, "Oh, by the way, I wouldn't park here, sir. The cops will give you a ticket." You know, so I can't.
Has Chan got the ball?
I think so. I think the ball bounces across the road, and he must catch it. But this again, I saw this on Channel 4 years ago. I mean, I'm probably talking. And
it was a modern day. It's not a traditional modern day.
No, yeah, modern day. You're looking at sort of Armour of God era. I'd probably say around 88, 87, 89. I just can't think.
Here because the police will get
the cops will give you a ticket.
Cops will give you a ticket.
Yeah. And I can't for life of me.
It ain't here. It ain't in here.
No, yeah. I'll have to. Yeah, because you were kind of my only hope, and I thought I'm going to have to go through every film dubbed. To find it, mainly just to appease Dad.
Sounds like a real hardship. Watch every dubbed Chan film. Yeah, go for it, mate. Brilliant.
Yeah, so I can't think, but yeah. Anyway.
No, me neither. Look, there's a couple of things here that we've got to try and do, which we ain't going to be able to do.
Right.
First off, someone's got to watch this, barring me and you. Even me and you ain't watched it yet. We're doing it. That's the first thing. So someone's got to watch it. Then if someone does, they've got to comment on it.
Right.
And then they've got to know the film. If anyone knows that film, let us know.
Yeah,
the Chan bit, get my ball back, and don't park here because you get a ticket. Anyone knows it? Modern day Chan, probably in a suit. You say a lawyery thing.
Yeah.
The only lawyery ones I can think of is Dragons Forever.
Yeah.
And Police Stories in a suit. Obviously, he does do a car parking scene, but he definitely ain't got a kid with a ball.
No, it's not that. I was always thinking like it's not Armor of God, and I think is it Armor of God 2, and I've literally trawled through that and I haven't seen it in there, and I just can't think. And the other one he goes on about is the gay waiter. What does he say? Flipping out. Oh yeah, he goes, all right. Yeah, he goes, all right, I know what to do.
Hey, all right, I know what to do.
That's Armor of God.
Well, that's Armor of God.
That's Armor of God 1. Armor of God.
Yeah. He's one of the waiters up there at the top.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. See, I knew that one. Yeah.
I haven't done the impressions for ages. I used to be able to nail them, but I had a squeakier voice. So it's probably easier. But it's just a dubbed version. Yeah, it gives a whole sort of different perspective of it. You know,
of course it
does.
Can
change the whole scene in a comedic way.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
when
I got a bit older and I got more into it, of course I started to want to watch the original language versions. There's no doubt about it. Of course I did. Traditionals I was fine, not just Chan's, all the Shaw Brothers stuff and the Venom stuff. I was still all good with those being in English. But Police Story, Armor of God, you know, films where it had acting, serious role parts and stuff. Yeah, of course it's better in, you know, original Cantonese language. Some films are, some films ain't, but Armor of God is actually a good one, dubbed. Yeah, that one. That one's amazing. Right. Okay. Well, next one. So that was chats. What we got now? Okay. So this is another, you know, real martial arts bit.
Right.
So the fight with the bloke who's so strong that he punches a hole in the floor. That fight.
I love it. Cool.
Yeah, bad. There's a bit in this where he does legitimate martial arts techniques. Obviously, they all are punching someone in the faces or whatever.
Yeah.
There's something he does here that I notice is called it's called a guntin in like Pan and Toucan. It's called an inward guntin, and the bloke throws a punch. It's another destruction one. So the punch comes in, and you parry the punch, and you hit the inside of the arm. Right? It's the scene where he can't get through that big bloke because he's so thick and heavy set. So he has to change to Buddha finger.
Right.
And then it starts to work. But he uses this, you know, it's hard to explain, but it's, again, I like it because it's martial arts techniques real. That people practice and train. Oh, that one's a phoenix and that one's Buddha finger. So it just one, no. There it is. See it? Right, when the arm comes, when he punches with his left, that one there, see it? Fast. But again, he goes in. There. And again, on the outside, he does an inward gunting and an outward gunting. And
that leaves him open then, vulnerable for it.
And then he does the, well now, just can't match this. And I asked you a question. Is this a subtle, it's funny this, right? We just said Chan don't swear and etc. etc. Right? We've got two examples here where he might that aren't the protector. Is this a subtle swear at the end of this thing? Here we go.
Well, now, you just can't match this.
Is it? Does he? I mean...
Yeah, you can't match this.
I mean...
Well, now, you just can't match this.
It kind of works because you could go, no, I was just reforming my fist, you know, my Buddha finger, Phoenix, whatever.
Yeah.
But it also works as in,
for the
you
audience.
thought I couldn't hurt you. I figured out a way to hurt you. You know, shove it or whatever. So yeah, there you go. So maybe, yeah. So maybe he does subtly. Now, speaking of it, I was never a fan of this scene because I also, as a kid, had a squeaky clean image of Jackie Chan and didn't want, you know, the women and the swearing. I don't want it. I mean, that's part of the reason I like it.
Yeah.
So this scene, it's not only a little bit out of character, it's a lot out of character. It's also kind of a strange scene because for some reason he's called Oddball. For some reason, this oddball fella likes it, but it's the cursing scene in the jail.
Hey, bastard!
You let go, or I'll curse you.
Huh? God? Well, you do that. I like nothing better than a cursing match. I'm a real expert. Huh?
Shithead!
Huh?
You goddamn stupid son of a bitch!
Good. Very good. Very good. I'm a stupid son of a bitch. That's a bad cursing. You're nearly as good as I am.
So it's weird.
Yeah. You know, because you hear the old B word quite a bit, don't you, in the old Kung films and the dub. They use that a lot, you know, especially in those older ones, and they do it in that "you bet," you know. So yeah, but you're right. There's a cut, like you say.
Yeah, it maybe it's the translation, maybe it's the dubbing, maybe they went, oh, because we're going to do this in English, we'll make this cursing. What else could it be apart from cursing? Well, I don't know. I don't know, but so I think it's a legit cursing scene, but maybe he didn't. Maybe he might not have said those words though.
No,
we don't know.
like you say,
I'll have to watch the Cantonese track. I might be able to do a little bit of that. The Mandarin one, I won't. Cantonese one, I might understand a bit of it. But,
yeah, you know a bit of Cantonese.
Yeah, but maybe not enough. But I'll have a look. I'll have a look at it. But yeah, it was just a scene that needed bringing up because it's kind of weird. The next one we haven't discussed the scene, but it's been brought up earlier. Was the scene where Cam Kong headbutts the girl, and the reason I'm bringing it up is because by this time, especially my bro as well, because obviously I used to watch these films a lot with him.
Yeah.
She got on our nerves. So when he gives her a couple of good cracks in the head,
not just one.
We were kind of like, yeah, good. Stupid idiot. You're getting on his nerves as well, right? Yeah. So yeah, that's why.
Well, shouldn't laugh.
There we go. It's the massive sound effects and her going, ah, it's kind of like
big bone crunch.
Yeah, exactly, right. It was just well, I don't want to be nasty, but it was kind of satisfying because it's like, oh, that you've been getting on my nerves the whole film, so take some headbutts, man. Take that. But it's a bit much because obviously she really does get mashed by him, which is a bit.
Yeah, it's brutal.
No one wanted that. Yeah, but she wouldn't leave him alone. The thing is, if she just left him, then that'd have been it. But she kept grabbing onto him and
kicks on the
back,
floor.
Like, yeah, right. He's dragging her along the floor.
Yeah, she's antagonising basically. She could have just lied there, but instead he walks away and she boots him, so he comes back. So she's persistent.
Get the message. It's Cam Kong. He's got a massive spam, and he's just giving you a couple of headbutts. That's it. Have done with it because you ain't winning that fight. There's no bravery in that.
No.
This next scene is, I'm going to say, Nicola, cousin Paul. Yeah. This is he loves this film as well. This is his favourite bit. It's to break through is not so easy. And it's one that he'll use to this day to break through. It's not so easy. Yeah, nothing. You ain't getting through that.
He's too tense. To break through. It's not so easy.
He loved that bit and he loves that line. So there you go. That's for him. Because listen, we all know about Snake and Crane. Next bit, it's just pretty obvious, really. It's the absolute incredible skill and dexterity of Chan dodging 3 spears.
All together.
I know you know, so I don't need to tell you. But let's watch it again, and let's just, because when I rewatch these things, like you say, you have a freer mind. You've seen it lots of times.
Yeah.
You can take more in. Just the editing, the choreography, but none of it is possible without the skill. The legs. What's the legs? Mate. Mate. Look at the skill.
All together.
Brilliant.
Yeah, all of that was shot, I think, like 3 or 4 breaks. You know, it's almost like a continuous sequence. Also, I know I picked up there, he's got obviously a red gash mark there, and he's got one on his leg, but you don't actually see the spears penetrate. But is that just to add a bit of realism where it just shows he's been caught, or do you reckon he's actually really been done?
No, I mean, he does get, I think before that he gets grashed, because that's not the very first bit of free spear. So he does get grashed. I suppose that's when he has to start learning how to use his legs and his footwork. That's what I like about these fights. I don't know if they do storyboards for them or what, right? Because there's definitely a lot of thought gone into it. They have a story. You've got the spears. I don't know what I'm doing with them. And he starts to get his legs cut up. And then he says, well, I've got to start being a bit more mobile.
Yeah.
But none of that works. You can have all the ideas in the world.
Yeah. But
all the ideas in the world.
You need someone to execute it. And he does every time.
Perfect way of putting it. You need someone to execute it. Exactly right. Next bit, same. We're still on the last fight. Now, as you know, Cam Kong, he sits in skin seats. He don't get his hands dirty unless he has to. So that's what he does. He employs the spearman to fight Chan. Right. What I like about this is once those spearmen are done, I like the fact that he tells you why he did that. And Chan wins that fight. He does those spearmen. And you'd think he'd go, oh no, I didn't know he was that good. I'm going to get mashed. And he don't. Right. He says, well, it's all right. I've seen, first off, you're going to be tired. You're going to be exhausted. So you ain't going to be anything that you was before those spearmen.
No.
And I stood at the side here and I've watched everything. I've watched all your techniques. I know how you fight. So you're going to be a piece of cake now. That I love. Anyone would just go, oh no, it's just a little bit of a dialogue in a film. No, it ain't. It's not dialogue in a film. It's absolute cungers.
Yes.
Well, my friend, I reckon you must be about exhausted. And I've seen your techniques. You won't be any problem now.
You know what I'm saying? That's all real stuff. Yeah. What do you want? What's the biggest weapon? Your cardio, your gas tank. What's he do? Takes it away. What's he do? What's another? What does UFC blokes do? They train loads of running and cardio, and they say your biggest weapon is your cardio because if you're tired, you can't execute it. You can't do anything because you're tired.
Yeah.
So even if you're worse than someone, if you've got more energy, you can end up winning and taking over that fight because they're too tired to fight now.
Yeah.
What else do? They study tape, they study footage, and go, it's all right, I know what to expect because I've been studying these fights. Oh, I didn't know he was going to do that. He surprised me. Guess what? That happens in this. Chan surprises him. Why? Because, the other stuff comes out. I like it. We're talking about 1978 here, and it's legit Kunga's chats. That's what it is.
Yeah. Beautiful. Strategic.
Right. But that's what they do. That's what I'm saying. it ain't just a film. Look, they could have. Well, it is just a film, but you know what I mean. They put real stuff in. They didn't have to have him do that chat. It could have literally been spearmen out. Now it's my go. No.
Yeah.
No. There's a reason I employed those spearmen. It ain't because I can't beat you up.
No.
It's I just want a bit of data, and I want to wear you out. I want to make sure I win this fight.
Yeah. Tire you out, then I'll finish you off.
I've learned I've seen everything you've got. Of course, that brings me on to the next scene, and this is the final, my favourite bits. Brings on to the next bit. I've seen everything you've got. I've stood at the side. I've watched it all. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh.
What have you got?
Have you?
Beat on that.
Seen it all, have you? You know what I mean? You ain't seen it all. You ain't seen it all because you tried to lock me up there and I slid out.
Yeah, you got to hold it back. So he's just holding something back there.
Right? This is why Camcon wanted the book. He knows there's secret methods in there. So I want that book. Well, I'm afraid you ain't got that book. You're going to try and get this book now. Well, guess what? I'm going to use the book on you. How about that?
Yeah.
How about that? How about that? And you know what? Fair play to you, Kung Fu Bob O'Brien, because you know about the book as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's highlighted it there.
Right. Highlighted, exactly, yeah.
It's actually got, it's part of the cast. You know, it's not very often an artifact gets such heavy presence on the front cover. Do you know what I mean? Because usually you'd have another character on the other side, but instead it's just the book when he's facing that way with the book.
This isn't about smashing this box in, but there you go. Other characters on the other side. This is what this is about. Other characters, other people, nothing wrong with it.
No.
Just
you're getting away from the nitty grits, yeah.
Yeah, the nitty grits, yeah, right. So, believe it or not, I was going to say that's all I've got to say about Snake and Crane, but it's not. Thanks very much for watching. Hopefully, they were also some of your favourite bits. As I say, ours are based on what stood out for us when we were watching it years ago growing up. You'll be sad to hear that the next one, part 15, is the final episode where we summarise and sign off. But before we do, G-Nix, he has a surprise in store. Thanks very much, and see you for the next and final episode, part 15.
Snake and Crane.